No.
Clap it up. Shalom Israel, y'all about to see me outside representing all the brothers. Y'all from all our time about to see me outside all the sisters. We got the I.S.U.P.K established in 1969, 1 West on the 25th Street. We all led by Commanding General YAHANNA. Pay your tithes. You can find that in Malachi and the Book of Numbers. There's a commandment. You got the fire weekend coming up in about 2 months in Chicago. From June 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
July 21st to the 25th.
July. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Start getting your plans and your agenda and your money together. Your travel arrangements. The fire weekend is always a blast. Everybody, all of Israel is invited and encouraged to come to U.P.K events. As I was inviting people outside the U.P.K for things like the Passover, I let them know, this ain't the place to try to battle doctrines or to try to prove you're right or somebody wrong. You could probably get your issue at the fire weekend. I'm pretty sure there will be a brother or two or a captain that'll accommodate. But again, that's also not meant for that either. Okay?
It's like July 22nd through the 24th.
July 22nd through the 24th in Chicago. What's the name of the park?
Let's see. It's like it. Let me see. Douglas Park.
Okay. Well, there's Commanding General YAHANNA be there. Holding class. We're gonna have camp. We're gonna have the cookout. Bring your family, bring your friends. As I'd like to always start off, Zephaniah 2:1 to get that kicked off. So today or yesterday was the official anniversary.
No, today is the
actual anniversary of George Floyd murder. And they had his family threw an event at nearby parks. They had food, music, things for the kids. But then there was a separate gathering that was taking place at the George Floyd Center. And it's good that people were taking that time to come together under those terms. But at the same time, you're mixing in with a lot of people too. You're bringing them into something that is an affliction of our people. It's really none of their business. I mean, that this is how y'all want to run it, that that's going to be your choice. But to heal the community from a tragedy like this, we need to come together. We don't need to join hands, with the Rainbow Coalition, because I can only imagine how many Sodomites were in that crowd too. I mean, the Edomites were in that crowd too. I mean, the Africans were in that crowd too. That as sincere, as they might appear to be about it, this ain't their business to get involved with. This ain't got nothing to do with them. If they want to help out, put your money in that bucket and just stay away. So like we get it.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Again, it's a good thing that they gathered together and there wasn't no problems, peaceful demonstrations. The family had a gathering at the park. And a lot of people try to cherry pick verses like this out the Bible. When this is talking about a nation standpoint, this is talking about Israel gathering together, that nation that's not desired. Everybody loves America. Esau's got enough love on earth right now. Like they bring them full to the brim. You can take your love and put it back home where it belongs. If I could also get Lamentations 1:1. We'll start at 1:1. Because the problems that are going on, this is an in-house problem. What's afflicting George Floyd and his family and the community that he came from. That's, I don't know what the suburbs are around here, like the white community, but if I had to compare this back to Milwaukee, like this ain't Franklin. This didn't happen in Oak Creek. This didn't happen in Cudahy or St. Francis.
Right.
This happened in the middle of one of our neighborhoods concerning You know, concerning another black man that was it's like murdered by an oppressive devil in a uniform at that. Now he got charged with it too, but you still got to wait on the sentencing to see which way this is gonna go. It's like you got that.
Lamentations, chapter 1 and verse 1. How does the city such?
Now, that's not talking about like a deserted city, like, when Minneapolis shut down and wasn't nobody in the streets. When you got a city that's got all the people in it, I mean, it's thriving, it's bustling, it's making noise, they're doing commerce, it's active, it's alive, and read that from the top.
How does the city sit solitary?
But now that it's like empty, it's quiet. Ain't nobody shuffling around. Kids ain't playing in the parks. Brothers ain't gathering together playing dice or dominoes or something like that. It's sitting there solitary, it's stagnant, and ain't nothing moving, guys.
That was full of people.
That was full of people. That had music in the background from the party that they were attending together. And now it's sitting in solitary. It had people ain't there no more. Continue.
How did she become as a widow?
How did she become as a widow? She was married. She did have a head. She did have a covenant. And now she's a widow. Now she's alone. Good.
She that was great among the nations.
That was great among the nations. We had a king. We had a beautiful, righteous, thriving king. That was just ours. Everybody else had their nations too. They had their blocks. They had their, I don't know if you would call them countries necessarily back then, but they had their plot of land. They were good. They were efficient, whatever. We could do commerce and things like that back and forth, but we had our own territory. We had our own kingdom, and it was beautiful, and it was the authority over the earth. Okay?
And princes among the provinces.
Used to be. Now we got stick-up kids and snowboarders and horrible rap artists. Okay?
How did she become tributary?
We become, we sold out. We become as what's like a joke, and what's the word I'm looking for?
You want me up?
If you're thinking of the same thing, I don't know if we're on the same
A
way.
proverb, a byword, something like that.
Right, but like
Mockery.
an offering.
Yeah.
An offering. Yeah. We've been giving away
Right.
our music, our style of clothing. And I think it's in China. They got a whole Chicano subculture. And the tattoos, the bald heads, the low riders, the zoot suits.
Not even just giving away, taking too.
Yeah. And I think it's gonna get into this in one of the next verses. But and we don't have, she's a widow now. She ain't got that head to protect it anymore. She's sitting there stagnant. Everybody just lazy, and they ain't got no soul, they ain't got no spirit in them. And all of our loving going away to everybody else. Taken by force, given by deception. And this is why we need to gather back together.
Right.
Because George Floyd is the only brother that got murdered. In that same area, about 20 feet away, that brother Inez, he got murdered right there. Same block, same corner, literally 20 feet away. Now they got a little cutout for him also. And I believe, the person that shot him did get arrested. So he did get some semblance of justice for that. And now I'm sure you got people in his family that they want revenge for this. George Floyd's family want revenge for his death. And, we see how the trial's going. But these are the reasons that we need to gather together more often too. But to keep everybody else out, we got to fix the problems at home. We need counseling for that too. Now, we got counselors in the school. You ain't got to pay $500,000 an hour to go sit on somebody's couch for them to tell you something that you already knew and they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. You got brothers over here with sincerity and with wisdom too that will actually help you walk through this. And we'll get to the source of the problem. Somebody might try to harm the family of the brother that did get locked up for murdering I.S.U.P.K. And in the spirit, he would be right to feel that way. Any of us would be right to feel that way. It's a natural thing. Somebody murders your family. Now, you can't get your hands on him because he's in jail. So now you got to go find his cousin. Now you got to find his brother. And you got to find his woman. You end up finding his kid. And you take out that aggression and hatred on him. The spirit of Israel is supposed to be better than that. Right now, we are living in some dirty times. And again, we're giving our love to everybody else and this is nothing against the families and the victims, but it all ends up going into vain pockets, vain tendencies, vain intentions. We're still in the middle of trying to gather for those events. You're still trying to gather with everybody else, letting everybody else come in and gather with you.
Mm-hmm. So,
Good.
I got 2 precepts for you if you don't mind.
Down.
Romans chapter 10, verse 2. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge.
Again, they don't find a script that's going to justify them.
Mm-hmm. Verse 3. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness.
They don't even know what the hell they read.
Right. Have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God. So that I got a second for you.
Yeah, so you giving all of your efforts for somebody else. You're submitting yourself to another power. You're making that your God.
Oh yeah, so like I got the second one for you. Baruch chapter 4, verse 3, an apocrypha. Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation.
To a strange nation, man. We're surrounded by strangers, man,
right.
on all fronts. Especially in a city like this, too, where they seem to be more divided by kind of neighborhoods. Like, from the little bit that I've noticed, and like you can tell when you're in like an African neighborhood. You can tell when you're in an Asian neighborhood. You can tell when you're in more of a Latin or Hispanic neighborhood. You can tell when you're in the black neighborhood too. You can tell when you're in the white neighborhood. But they got us surrounded on all sides, and they got all the authority in the world to do whatever they want. And we're just, again, tributary. We're just damn near letting them go. Our leaders are selling us out too. They offering us up. Because we ain't got that husband no more. We are a widowed nation. And you know, that fight to come back home, it does start with, it starts with keeping law, statutes, commandments. That's how you get it cracked. But you also got to gather together with your own people.
Right.
Sit at the table with us. You don't like us, that's fine. We might not like you either, but we do love Israel. And that's where our energy is supposed to go. That's how you rebuild the problems between broken people, between Crips and Bloods. Now, they tried, sitting at the table before and hashing it out. They've had moments of peace. It has occurred, but that don't last long because some knucklehead is going to want to do something. Maybe he's bored. Maybe he got high and he just wants to take it off of you. And maybe he can't let go of that problem that he had with, probably it could have been a childhood friend that he grew up that just happened to live, on a different block. So now he's a blood. You live in a different block. Now you a Crip, yeah.
A lot of the times, it's the white man doing it too.
Right.
Right. The people pressure is doing it.
Right.
Because once the murder rate down, the murder rate goes down, he gets shook. He gets
Yeah, your tax dollars ain't getting, eaten up by the coroners, by the ambulance drivers.
Right.
You know, you're putting a lot of people out of business when you're not murdering each other.
Right.
When you're not selling drugs to each other. You're putting pharmacies.
Right.
You put pharmacies out of business. You're putting gun shops out of business.
Right.
You're putting the mayor's office out of business. Now they ain't got nothing to govern. They ain't got no slaves
Right.
to oversee.
Right. And the cops,
Yeah.
and around, trying to find something to do,
Right.
Trying to plant some dope on you. They got to go that extreme now.
And then there's always been some sellout Uncle Tom that will facilitate that efforts.
Right.
Whether you black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, I mean, it's there's going to be that one bad seed that is selfish,
Right.
that don't care,
Right.
but they're going to want peace for themselves though when
Right.
somebody come knocking on their damn door
Right. Right.
because of what they ended up causing. And there's another scripture, render not evil for evil. We got to learn how to forgive that brother at the end of the day. You ain't got to be best buddies with him, you ain't got to go bowling with him or nothing like that. But, we got to teach them better than that. We got to raise our children better than that. We got to be more brotherly to our people than that. So that they don't feel that they got to sell us out to get some type of monetary gain, and they'll actually have the right spirit on them. So like you was done with that one, right?
Yeah. Both. Yeah.
Right, what you were saying, that's how you get to Ricky Ross's and
Right.
Frank Matthews and people like that, Frank Lucas's.
Mhm.
That's how you get that, because if the drug use goes down, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, they gotta have somebody to, accommodate that situation. And that dude, something's wrong when, like Ricky Ross got 15 years in prison from all the dope he was moving. He was supplying states with dope. You know what I'm saying? And the guy, Frank Matthews, he had about 7, 8 states that he was supplying with dope. Including big states like New York. I'm talking about the whole damn state on lock.
And I mean, the cartels and things like that, you're gonna kill the business too when people stop using, sober up, stop selling and killing the people and contributing to the degradation of the block. You stop murdering each other again. The doctors ain't gonna have a whole other lot to do. There'll still be some cancer patients. I'm sure somebody will break the foot. They'll have a little hobby thing going on. But without the bodies rolling in that are ODing, that are getting all shot up, that are all stabbed up, they're all beat to crap, it's, you're going to kill a lot of their income with this. You're going to save a lot of your own, too. Now, I know I'm positive that we've got better talents than I'm almost positive about that. I've seen great basketball players, great athletes, artists, musicians, singers, rappers, dancers, sculptors, painters, mechanics. We got a lot more to offer not only our family, ourselves, this community, the next community, this city, the world, than drugs and violence.
Right.
We got a lot more to offer than that.
Right.
It's like you continue.
And the thing about it is, we can't offer that to the world. We got to be selfish.
Yeah.
We got to keep it with us, because your big drug dealers are really big corporate businessmen. You know what I'm saying? Being the fact that we don't have those corporate businesses and stuff like that, no infrastructure, so they don't have nothing to, no business to do other than drugs. And these dudes got Fortune 500 minds.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, drug dealers, I ain't trying to say drug dealers are lazy. That is garbage. Being a drug dealer is certainly no lazy job.
Well, it's definitely some hard work. I mean,
it really is.
You
got people, smoking cocaine and doing no-dos and all that just so they can stay up and make all them runs at night. That's some stress. That's some stressful stuff. Then you got to think about the stress from police, maybe when they kicking your spot in. All of that type of stuff. That's how you get the drug dealers have already closed 3 or 4 days. Then you got no time to change clothes. You know what I'm saying?
And even in the
It's an animal
city,
business.
even in the city this size, you know, you're a drug dealer out there. You got maybe 15,000 police officers you got to worry about.
Right.
You got maybe 1,000 sheriffs you got to worry about.
Right.
You got maybe another 10,000 other drug dealers that you got to worry about that might want to try to rob you, rip you off, kill you.
Yeah. Or simply just try to eliminate you because of your competition.
You always got to look over your back. You got like 50,000 hoes out there that just want something from you.
Oh yeah, the setup hole.
Yeah.
In a hotel. Come to the hotel.
Yeah, there's a lot of competition out there, and you always got to worry about. You always got to worry about something. I mean, if you say you make 10,000 in 1 month off or something like that, and you get popped, and you got to do 10 years now, that 10,000 ain't gonna last you that long. That ain't gonna feed your family for that long.
Right.
It's again, we've got to have more virtue than just an interest in just selling drugs too. You know, one of the things about the U.P.K, you know, they offer different fields of interest to different brothers and sisters that want to do something with their life. You know, we can legitimize ourselves and establish businesses, and in the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood, keep each other successful. That's the whole point behind it.
Good. Selfishness is the
Yeah,
key.
nothing wrong with that.
You know what I'm saying? Not selfish, like us individuals, but as a nation, we shouldn't be trying to worry about the Asians. Hey, what the hell does they got to do with us? You know what I'm saying? When they were sitting there hating us,
Right.
what new commercial black hate? Some Asian doing something to some sister inside one of the damn weed shops.
And you ain't got to worry about none of that coming back to you. Ain't nobody gonna mistake you for an Asian dude and try to kill you,
right? Because
of the color of your skin or the shape of your eyes,
right? Even though, right, and even though you know Mexicans look, a lot of Hispanics look Asian, people still know the difference.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they know the difference between us and any type of stock Africans.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. You got to selfish.
Right.
Could you continue? Stop. Could you continue lamentation?
How will she become tributary? Verse 2. She weepeth sore in the night.
You know, you got a broken nation, you got a broken community of people. Even if we just take it for on a smaller scale, if you look at the conditions of it, she is crying out. If like even around that George Floyd Square area, like every other block that I've seen down there, you got another little what you call a little monument or something like that on the corner for somebody else that died. All over the place, whether it was an auto accident or another shooting, a random bullet. Like I don't know, bring now last, I don't know if that was last week. You saying they ain't got no names on them.
Yeah,
anybody can get hit. Right. Doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter how if you're a kid, if you're a grown ass man, they didn't do nothing to nobody. It's you know, the lifestyle that a lot of people are living right now. They don't care. You know, and we're getting that from our oppressor, not only just from the state of being oppressed, but from the characteristics of our oppressor. Like in scripture describes it too. We talk about the nation of fierce countenance. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I don't care if you're a child or you're an adult. And because we ain't got that covering over us right now, because we scattered all over the place, acting as tributary to everybody else, getting all our love and energy to them. We hate each other.
Right.
Like you'd almost think that we've had enough of it. It gets talked about enough, but people ain't really doing anything about it. The little rainbow coalition that they got out there, like that's what's that ever gonna do for you? It's depopulation, something like that.
Yeah.
So like, we'll get that.
No, that's right.
But it's depopulating, you know, us as a nation. You got your men, you know, marrying themselves to other men, which biblically is not even sound. You can't marry another. If you're a man, you're not going to get married to another man.
Right.
But you got men that are going off with other men, neglecting the women. You got sisters that are, you know, doing the same thing in the men. Supposed to repopulate the nation if you're not joining the opposite sex in order to get that done. It's almost become like a bad thing to be straight. Like you can't get mad at a man who wants to be a woman going into the woman's bathroom with your kid inside, or vice versa. But you gotta accept it all. Like you can get a case on you if you like deny them service, or if you tell them you can't use that restroom because, well, I mean, you're not a woman and there's women in there. But they've got a whole coalition, they've got a whole committee backing them up and pushing that agenda and making it so that their voice is going to be heard.
What we can do, we can take a page out of the Asians book, how they do us, right? They don't say you can't use the bathroom because you're black. What do they say? Bathroom brawl.
Oh yeah.
They do that everywhere,
Right.
all over the country.
Right.
That's why you can't use the bathroom in a Chinese restaurant. Black people can't. We can do the same damn thing. So they try to go, some dude come with a dress on, bathroom brawl.
Yeah.
Bathroom brawl. We do the same damn thing. We ain't discriminating against them because of how you look. Bathroom just broke.
While I'm at it, the ovens broke too. The fridge don't work.
Right, exactly.
It's all bad around here, man. You might as well,
the chairs in this restaurant ain't good.
Yep.
So like,
You might as well go down the street.
it's like, or they always say, this bathroom's not for the public. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not for the public. It's for employees only.
Right. Yeah.
Everything's gonna say employee only.
Right.
You can't use that pen.
Drive-throughs open. Oh, damn, let's go too.
Everybody, damn, my fault. Man, McDonald's, they're open up. They take the money. But that's the state of mind that the people in, man. It's it's after long-term effect, and after so many years of being abused like that, it turns you into that same beast, that same animal. It's some damn good training. It worked for them. It paid off. You got a lot of brothers out there and sisters that do not care enough to do the work that's necessary to get it done. We know what the problem is. We know what the issue is. It's just being part of the work. But you can continue with that. If you want to say something else.
As far as women, we can find an answer when we go right back to when the Most High said, thy desire shall be with thy husband.
Yeah.
But then we gotta think, who is the husband for real?
Yeah.
Because more of them, follow what the white man say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't. That's
so.
all.
I mean, as a matter of fact, I think out of America and all that, we're gonna get a small portion of systems. We're gonna get a small portion of systems, especially out of North America. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it's gonna be. For the rest, shit.
For the streets.
Yeah.
It's for the streets. And that's a damn shame that they've turned us into. And again, how we reflected that in our family values, raising our children to act like that. Sure.
So like I was gonna say, what y'all both talking about, it is in the Bible. King Solomon said, out of 1,000 men I find one, out of 1,000 women I find none. I mean, it's harder sometimes for a woman to come to the truth. It takes a certain type of woman to really, be in the truth.
So give the sisters in this room a hand. Because I know we ain't easy to deal with.
Yeah.
I know we ain't. It's a rough life. It's after the life that we've been living. It can be a rough transition for a lot of people, men included. But it's these are the necessary steps that need to be taken for us to break that cycle, to break these curses, to get that stain off of us. Could you continue?
She weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks.
And you can see it all over the face of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
I was talking with my one sister last night, and we hear about this all the time, like the the conditions that are on the reservation. And she was telling me, like, dude, like, meth up on the res is big. Heroin up on the res is big. Alcohol is big. Suicide rates up on the reservations are big. You know, they losing people left and right to either drugs or, again, their depression. And they don't feel no other way out, so they take their own life.
Right.
And again, look at the state of the living conditions that we've been thrust into.
Right.
Look at every device that they've used to break us down, beat us up, just completely wear us out to where we think Christians. That's gotta be it. That's gonna be my ticket out here. That's gonna fix it. Some crack cocaine. That's what's gonna do the job. This bullet world, or this news world, this belt. Maybe that'll fix how I'm feeling. When we do got a solution, this Bible has the solution.
Right.
Captain Captain says the Bible has a remedy to heal all extremities. Like I know what it sounds like, you know, coming from some Bible thumping Jesus freaks. I get it. Christianity has done some damage. Catholicism has done some damage. So was Islam. So was Egyptology. But if you were to come here and learn the truth about the Bible, learn the truth about your heritage, it feels different. You see the difference between men of God and everybody else. You're still out there playing at it. And it's something that needs to be taken serious because look at the conditions that people are living in. You got crack babies still being born, man. And nobody want to live that kind of life. Fetal alcohol syndrome, that's not a good way to grow up. The birth defects that it causes, stillborn. I mean, the list goes on and on. And we are drowning in bodies, right? Yeah.
You know, one rough thing too on the reservation, they got prohibition on a lot of those reservations, and they run around drinking Scope and Listerine.
Right.
Get a buzz.
You'll see it in downtown Minneapolis. You see it definitely down. Yeah. So like, if I may, like, I remember being a kid. Well, really, I mean, like, I was in high school taking the train, going back home all the way over north, and I'm like, damn, something strong. But I'm like, you know, just a few people around. I don't, you know, anybody drinking, and this dude just walking funny. He said he got a Listerine bottle, and someone's like, that's what that smell is. I'm just like, damn, you can drink it. Like, can't you die? You know what I mean?
You seen that before too?
I see somebody suffocating off rubbing alcohol.
Rubbing alcohol.
Yeah.
I guess it's like 90 proof.
Yeah.
I mean, that is wrong. Good night. And that's, you know, we're seeing that. And now, was that in like a black community or was that in the native community? Right out here.
Yeah, it's all three of us.
Right out here.
Americans.
And you know, it's no coincidence how the ghetto looks like the barrio, how the barrio looks like the reservation, how we are being afflicted by the same things, doing some of the same dumb mess, the idiocy of some of the decisions that we make to try to escape reality for that little bit of high. And again, we get it. We coming from them lifestyles. I used to do all types of drugs. I used to drink the most. And you know, you can enjoy your strong and all that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't take it too far though. You ain't got to revert to rubbing alcohol and Robitussin. You know, be responsible about it. But also surround yourself with people that are going to help you keep sobriety and keep being responsible about it. That ain't going to push nothing on you. That ain't going to try to influence you negatively. That's something else that you find over here. That's something else that is commanded in the Bible. And you know, Christians in that church, they make it sound good. They play the little song and dance, and you know, they'll be very boisterous and they'll speak very eloquently. They got the nice suits on, so you know they must be living a good life, you know, since they look so clean cut. But the lessons that they're teaching, they do more damage to us than they do good. I hate using this word, slack. It's not in those environments. And again, the sincerity, the level of sincerity that you're going to find there is you might as well slap yourself some pork noodles. I mean, that's about as strong as it's going to get. Anything else on that, though? I think we should be going on to like 5.
Among all her lovers, she has none to comfort her.
Again, you're into Christianity. That ain't gonna. That doesn't seem to work for you. In fact, Catholicism, that doesn't seem to be a ticket. You jump in the Egyptology, that's not doing nothing for you. You're not getting any knowledge, any wisdom, you're not waking up just because you found out, why you found out about some room in the pyramid that was dedicated to some principle that isn't going to do anything to fix your life. And even if it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, you still got people back home, that ain't living too good, that are freezing at night because they ain't got no heat, or they ain't got no blankets, or they ain't got no home. They ain't even got a car to sleep in, so they crashed out on a bus stop somewhere, drinking themselves half to death off the malt liquor, just to try to numb that away. All these different lovers that you messing around with. And we're talking about us as a people. All these different lovers, all these different philosophies and belief systems have only done damage to us. They're not here to protect us. They're not here to keep us preserved. They're not here to help us out when it's going bad. We end up being here to serve them. Okay? Tributary.
All her friends have dealt treacherously with her.
All your homies, everybody that you want to keep near and dear to your heart, all your Asian buddies, all your white buddies, all your African buddies, you think you'd almost think that unity is that bond is going to be enough to keep you warm that night. When push comes to shove, they're going to go back to their own people. They're going to go back to their house when their mom and daddy calls them, when their husband and wife calls them. And we're going to be stuck out in the street yet again. Good.
And their only relationship with you is based on what they can sap from you.
That's it. Tributary.
And we think, they look at things totally different than the way we do.
Oh,
We think, oh man, this is my Asian
right.
right here.
Right.
They do something, they be cool with us, we fall in love.
Yeah.
But the way that they look at things, what can I get from them? What can I get from them? Yeah, let me open a grill shop. They like to buy gold teeth. Get all the money out of them.
Exactly. And even if it wasn't to engage in war, China and what was it, Palestine?
No,
in Israel.
In Israel.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying the allies.
The allies of Israel would be America.
No, China.
China,
Russia.
Russia,
Yeah.
Iran.
Mm-hmm.
I think Iran is.
Yeah, they got getting Africa now. They getting certain leg up in Africa.
And I mean, if it wasn't for that military strength and unity against America and her allies, they wouldn't give a damn about each other either.
Right.
Yeah, they'd be warring with each other. I mean, once they
Right.
pop America off, they're gonna go for each other too.
Yeah.
Them ain't your friends, man. They don't care about you. They don't know
Right.
you. They ain't gonna do nothing to protect you, to keep you safe. And the enemies and the wolves come barking.
Right.
And we've seen this. We've already lived through this. Christopher Columbus, great example. Great example. And our oppressor loves Columbus Day. Didn't it just happen? Didn't it just come back?
No.
October.
It's October.
October, November-ish, yeah. Talking about St. Patrick's Day or something like that?
No, Columbus Day.
No, that's not until like October,
I
November.
thought that was in the South. It's a beautiful thing that I don't know when any of these holidays are anymore. It just completely kind of forgets about it until it pops up on Facebook. Facebook will let you know when it is. For a while, like, I didn't even know when my birthday was. I didn't know my birthday was coming up, and then Facebook popped up. Shit like that. But for us, it's not that big of a deal. It's it's an easy thing to wash away. But yeah, Columbus Day, for example, when they came here, they were not met with opposition by us. We should have checked the hell out of them. The same way that church should have checked the hell out of them with Luke Storm. Because they would be about, I mean, unless he's on the outside, trying to burn it down or something like that, but still, racial profiling and discrimination, it works. And nobody gets mad at all the other nations when they apply it, when they practice it. But we gotta let everybody. We gotta try to love everybody and get along and just, let the past go. Let the wounds heal. What about our self-inflicted wounds? Like, we're the ones that need that love from each other because we're the ones that are fighting each other. I'm not getting into it with Asians. I don't need peace with Asians. I'm getting into it with another Black or Hispanic brother down the block. Right. That's who I want that peace and love with. I want to be able to go home at night and go kick it with my people. It's like that.
You know who they need to tell them to stop the Asian hate too? They need to tell that to Trump. They need to who started it.
Yeah, there you go.
The coronavirus was coming to come through.
Yeah.
Tell it to him.
Yeah, go talk to them about it. Go talk to the people who commissioned them, and as poor as the conditions were, they still got paid for it. But whoever threw them on building the railroads,
Right.
go talk to those guys about it. Mexicans ain't had beef with Asians like that. I mean, I don't even think the cartels and the triads are going at it.
The Asians they can't even beef about the railroads because they got Chinatown as their pay for. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So they got that argument.
No, we got Detroit, and look what that's become.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't really have it.
Yeah.
We didn't own our own business. We just had good jobs.
Right. And we had communities.
Right.
Communities, but look at what they did to that too.
To piggyback off what you just said, they got Chinatowns in every state.
Everywhere.
Right.
And now, granted, all right, to make the same argument, we got ghetto everywhere.
Right.
It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different.
Chinatown, they got their own laws, and there are whole government
Own police
system.
forces.
Yeah, they got their own.
Yeah, their own doctors and lawyers.
They
Right.
gotta pay for it.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah, that's still coming out of our money.
They come on stop Asian hate.
Yeah, they do business with their own country, their mother country, which is China. They do business back and forth. They can operate totally independently here in America.
Yep.
Totally independent. And then so much so to where they gaining a whole lot of power because they own a large portion of the stock market.
Yeah.
So I mean, China's kind of moving. They're moving to number 2 spot.
And with what was I gonna say? Damn, I'll slip my mind slightly. But if you could, finish this off.
They are become her enemy.
Read that from the top, bro.
See, we've been sore in the night.
It's all from the night, man. You can hear her screaming at night. You hear all them gunshots? You hear all them gunshots at night? That's her weeping in the night, man. Got it?
Right. And her tears are on her cheeks.
You see all them rape victims that go into the hospitals? You see all the mothers that are going to funerals? You can see it on our face, the condition that we're living in, man.
Right.
And the suffering. Like, don't you think it's enough? Have you had enough for this? Like, does anybody want to get out of it? Or is that crystal meth damn good? Crystal meth is too damn good.
Among all her lovers, she has none to comfort her.
You ain't got nobody in your corner, man. You ain't got nobody in your corner when we will be the strongest together. Yeah.
All her friends have dealt treacherously with her.
And that ain't your family, man. Them ain't your people. Your crew will turn their backs on you when their people come. Yeah.
Now become her enemy.
They will become your enemies. You're gonna end up fighting them too. You're already fighting us. You're gonna end up fighting them too. They're not gonna be there when push comes to shove. Yeah.
Verse 3. Judah is gone into captivity.
He's going in. Yeah.
Because of affliction.
Because of affliction. Like again, look at the way that we were living. And this goes, this is mentioning Judah, which is the so-called Negroes here in America. But this goes the same for all 12 tribes. Good.
And because of great servitude.
Because of great servitude. Don't that sound familiar for Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives? Don't it sound like we've all been through that? Good.
Right. She dwelleth among the heathen. She findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the springs.
And look at how they treat us. I mean, they come and they kick our doors down. They slam you on your car, they slam you on the cement, they kneel on your neck for 10 minutes. Damn near nothing happened. I mean, how long did it take for that trial to even go? Like, that just happened this year. The brother got murdered last year. How much longer do you think they're gonna draw out the sentencing? They drew out that trial for that long, okay?
By the end of this year, they're still on the charge of the officers.
In the Breonna Taylor situation, the ones that got charged were the ones that didn't even hit her with the bullets. Because they missed and they got charged. Essentially, they got charged for not murdering Breonna Taylor, okay?
And then they think money's supposed to bring the person back.
And that should be the least of our concerns. I mean, all right, so the family, George Floyd family, so they got like 27 million before the trial. Before the trial even went down, they got 27 million. And I'm sure that did something for, a lot of people's hatred, to see that family get that money. They probably thought that's a little bit of justice. All right, maybe we can calm down a little bit. Maybe we won't burn down another neighborhood right now. But yeah, that's just a band-aid, and that ain't gonna bring that little girl's father back. Right. They ain't gonna bring, Big Mama's son back. And the family, which I can respect this too, though. They're offering a $500,000 community grant, calling it the George Floyd Community Benevolence Fund to help businesses near the block. So a lot of the businesses that got affected by that shut down, that got destroyed, they're offering a $500,000 grant, and I believe this is in conjunction with the city for those businesses. And I don't know how many Asian businesses are in there. I don't know enough about the demographics of certain neighborhoods yet, but I know there's gonna be like all the Arab and African corner stores that got hit by, if they apply for it, that's where that money's gonna be going to. It's again that's financially, that doesn't do nothing for the people. It'll help out the community by fixing the businesses and people can kind of go back to commerce. But it's that's their decision. I ain't gonna tell them what to do with their money. I wouldn't have done it though. I wouldn't have done it like that. I wouldn't have done it like that. Okay.
Verse 4. Zion do mourn, because none come to peace. All her gates are desolate.
And again, the gates mean protection. All of our protection is gone, man. It's half in a bottle where it's got a needle in its arm, or it's wearing pumps at a church. Or your men are wearing skirts. I mean, they're the ones that should be there protecting you to back you up. That's supposed to be your love. That's supposed to be your husband, so you don't be a widow. So that you got comfort. they're on the police force, they're in the military, they're in the Christian church, they're Egyptologists, or they're Buddhists, or they're Islam now, or they're married to some white girl, or I mean this, that, and the third, or they're homosexual, or they're just doped up out of their minds, and they don't have the wherewithal to even defend. The Bible can cure that. The I.S.U.P.K, the commanding general YAHANNA, can facilitate that. We can heal together. But we only gonna do this for us too. Like, like ain't nothing wrong with being selfish about your love for your people. I love my kids. Now I love y'all kids too. Don't get me wrong. I love y'all kids too. But I love my kid. That's my child. I made that. I'm gonna be there to protect it. Now we treat that, if we take that love that we have in our families, we broaden that to our community, we broaden that to our people, to our nation. It'll, not only will it draw the people back together, but that consideration that you got for your baby, you don't know. I don't think anybody wants to see their kid be a heroin junkie. As far as I know, I've never met any. I mean, there's some weird parents out there. But again, you want you want to teach them right. You want to raise them right. You don't want your daughter to end up with a dude that's gonna beat her. You don't want your son to run around with drug dealers and end up getting shot, or end up trying them drugs and getting addicted or ODing on. You take that same love for your children. Again, you spread that. You open that up to your people, and then you close that shut. You can feel the change in the air. And again, people from the outside looking in, you'll never understand what the I.S.U.P.K is about unless you actually come into the school. And I don't mean just admire us from afar, look at a couple classes, like jump into this, see what it is. See what it's like in real life. Start coming to the classes. If you're watching them online, most time price. Come to an actual physical class. Go to I.S.U.P.K.com. Look up where your city is. See the closest school near you, and go seek them out. And if they're a couple hours drive, you better take a couple hours drive. I mean, if anything, you got a couple hours to yourself then. And we used to take the bus to Chicago all the time when I was living in Milwaukee. It's only like an hour and a half drive tops, depending on how you roll. But on a Greyhound, that turns into like a 2-3 hour trip almost. But don't make the excuse, oh, it's too far. You can't do this, you can't do that. Like we got to stop being lazy. What did it say about the defender? Or the gates? What I think it was verse 3.
Yeah, verse 4. All her gates are desolate.
The gates are desolate. Don't be that loose brick in the wall, man. Secure yourself with that mortar, with all the other bricks that are by you that'll help keep you in place. But you gotta put your brick in. And I'm talking to the sisters too. This ain't just about the brothers, because the women got a very important job protecting the daughters also, and raising the daughters right, and teaching them proper virtue and values. Again, we got a lot more to offer than drug dealing and twerking. A lot more to offer. Yes, sir.
Her priests sigh. Her virgins are afflicted, and she is in bitterness.
The priest side, like they what's the phrase? Like they're defeated already. Like just the energy is zapped out of them. Their zeal, it's their fire is going out, man. And what it say after that?
Her virgins are afflicted.
The virgins are afflicted, man. They're not them pure, innocent, wholesome, little babies that you had raised up. There's something different now. That system turned into a beast now.
Right.
It's something damaged her soul, just like those men. Those men that should be strong, and like us over here, like we willing to jump into whatever. We ain't got no problem with it. We preach peace. Absolutely, we're a nonviolent organization, but we will get it in if it comes down to protecting a lot of people. And they're now the men that are in position with the resources to do a lot of people. I mean, they've got the money in those big and whatnot. And they got the influence too, obviously, because you're seeing like millions of people. Even though they're televangelists and they're making enough to buy, enough of your money, they get enough of your money to buy themselves planes and houses and this, that, and the third. There ain't no fighting them. They're not going to be there to protect you either.
Right.
I don't care how many scriptures they know or how many scriptures you can pull. I'd rather have an illiterate brother who's got zeal for the Most High. Like you ain't gotta know scriptures like that to start pulling them out your sleeve or nothing. Because you got another brother who precept came right here. If I need a precept, this brother got it. Now there's probably something I could offer that maybe he don't do. If you need a fancy baseball bat, I can make one of those for you. And there's enough talent, even in the city of Minneapolis and St. Paul, where if we pulled our resources together, we could make a change. We could make some serious change here. But not this Black Lives Matter Rainbow Coalition. That's only gonna fold in on itself. There's no substance to that mentality. And don't worry about trying to go through the voting booths because, well, if we haven't seen that tactic does not work ever, I'm not sure what else it's going to take for it. But it's a different life. It's a different world over here. You see things a lot clearer. Our men are not just sitting there silent. Our women are not afraid. There's strength over here. You're not going to get that by giving all your energy and love away.
Right.
Like you said, was there anything else on that?
She is in bitterness.
She is in bitterness. Now she got attitude, man. And she's salty, she mad at everything. That's how our people are acting. Like it's not feeling entitled is not the way I want to put it because they owe. These other nations they owe is big. But it's self-hatred. That's a huge problem in our communities too, because again, we're not fighting it out with the KKK or the police or the Yakuza. We're fighting it with Jose down the block, with Terrell a few houses away, with brothers and sisters that you grew up with probably. Or you just moved from a different ghetto to this ghetto, looks the same, feels the same, and now you just want to be the man of the hour or something. Or you're competing with drugs. Who got the best dope, or who got the cheapest, or who's just gonna kill who first. This is that self-hate mentality. We got a bitterness towards each other.
Right.
And that comes from that oppression. That comes from that so I can verse 2. But it comes from this bondage. It comes from being afflicted like this. Again, we acting like the people who hate us. And the violent crime rates are up. So like just where we are in this year, I believe it was specifically Minneapolis, that seems to be mainly where it's been going down, but St. Paul, if it's not closely right behind, they are in the midst. But at this time last year, violent crimes are already up from the same time last year, in 2020. Homicide rates from the same time last year are double. So I think right now we're around 30 something. I think 30 something from Minneapolis.
Talking about the homicides?
So that homicide.
We talking about homicides?
Saying that it's up double from last year at this same time.
Yeah, that sounds about accurate. I think like 38. What's 38?
And you got cities like Milwaukee or Chicago that might have already 100 right now. This ain't supposed to be a competition. We're not supposed to be murdering each other.
Right.
It's you're not cool for doing that because now you got somebody gunning for you and your family. But again, if they can't find you, they can find somebody you love. They're gonna take it out on them. That's just a good way to hurt you. Even if you're already dead. Just to spite the family, you got funerals. That's the lifestyle that we've been living for so long. Like it seems normal. it seems normal that you should be a Cripple of blood, or a GD, or a Vice Lord, or Latin Kenya MP. It feels normal that you should start smoking cigarettes and weed and getting drunk at a young age, and then moving on to other drugs as you kind of mature a little bit. It seems normal for our young men and women to be promiscuous as teenagers. Half the time, even before puberty hits. It feels normal to see all this violence in the media and the drug abuse in the media and how it's portrayed in movies and in songs. Like, these new rappers are garbage, man. I don't know what's going on with this era. I can't handle it. I can't listen to them. There's a couple brothers out there that are cold, but like the content of it is not what it used to be.
Right.
And like even in the gangster rap era, like at least they was talking about something. I don't even know what. Maybe I'm just out of touch, but I don't know what half of y'all are saying or referencing anymore. I'll stick to my old guns. But again, that's the life that we've been taught to live. And if you go to Mark chapter 7, verse 21, it reads, "For from within, out of the heart of men proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders."
That's right.
Like, doesn't that damn near sound like what I just said? Like, even without reading the verse yet, like that's damn near what I had just said. The murders, the whoredom, like, and it's happening at a young age. You got kids out there with guns. You got kids out there with guns. You got little boys and little girls out there having sex, doing drugs at a young age because they don't have any protection. Ain't nobody looking after them, telling them what to do, what not to do, giving them guidance on a very life-altering issue. It's, you know, you got kids that are never going to see their teen years, that are never going to see their 20s, that are never going to see their 30s, that are never going to have kids of their own to watch them grow up. Because nobody was there for them. And they run in the streets crazy, getting themselves killed, getting themselves drugs. Human trafficking is still a thing. I don't know if some people don't realize that or not. Human trafficking still exists.
Not only does it exist, it's huge right now. It's huge.
It's a business for these people.
Right.
And that's bad across the board.
Right.
For black people, for white people, for Asian people. That nobody wants to be sex trafficked. Nobody wants to see their kids. I don't even know that that's going on. But you think the people that are running those organizations that are profiting off of it, you think they're just gonna just cash out and say, all right, I'm done. Sorry about that. Didn't mean it. My bad. Nothing personal. They're not just gonna give that up. All the money and the power and prestige and prominence that they get from what they've accumulated off of our children. Yeah.
Remember when the earthquake in Haiti, right?
Oh, good man.
Remember they busted some white couples trying to smuggle. One white couple had 20 little Levite children, kind of smuggled them into America. Now you know they wasn't trying to provide a better life for them.
Yeah, I don't know. They weren't bringing them here in like a little cargo van for pizza night.
Right. They was bringing them here to put them in sex trafficking and to see how much money they can make off of them.
And they thought it would have been an easy slip, you know, something easy to get by with, just because of all the confusion, all the drama, everything going on. Like all these heads, you know, turning everywhere, just like went on with Katrina. And just like what happened in Puerto Rico.
Right.
Like, you know, when those disasters happen, people try to take advantage of it.
Right.
And your gates are depleted. Your leaders are not watching out for you. For our children, they're still in cages. You think the people that are running these cultures are just gonna give it up because we protested? It don't work that way. I don't know if y'all are paying attention to the real world. It don't work that way. Right. Even if you take it on a small scale, the drug dealers ain't gonna just put their drugs on like on the block, even just on the block. The drug dealers ain't gonna just stop selling drugs because their mom was crying, or because you're telling them you know, when your friend shot my son or something like that, they don't care about that. They don't care about that. You think on a large scale they're going to consider this? That's not reality. It ain't going to work like that. They're going to have to get forced to stop. And when that happens, I mean, that's going to be a beautiful day. A lot of people ain't going to like it. They're going to think that's evil. They're going to think that that's bad because they think pedophilia is good. Because they think that, again, going back to the crystal meth, when she was telling me about that crystal meth on the res, man, like I knew it was bad. I always heard stories about it, but I didn't know that much. You would say something?
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I knew it was real big among Issachar.
Yeah.
You know, Issachar was real big. I figured, you know, it's real big with Issachar, probably big with Gad too. A lot of, you know, the Gadites mess with a lot of, you know, peak oppressors.
Yep.
You know, it's funny because, you know, where I'm from, I never saw, you know, it's so bad down there, I never saw a Gadite couple till I came here. Serious. You see them in ones, and every Gadite dude got him a big white woman, or you know what I'm saying? Just like the Judite Issacharite, the same way. But you will see, you know, Issacharite couples, but you never see a Gadite couple. You see them, they're always in ones. You know, you see a Gadite woman, she with a devil dude. You see a Gadite man, he with a devil. You know, and it causes their children to look like devils.
Right.
You know, and a lot of you know people that you think is, you know, Esau and everything, they really Gad.
And if you a sister who ended up hooking up with a heathen and you got kids who's been listening, Lord be with you, man.
Right.
You can still come to the fire weekend, but your kids can't.
Right.
They cannot roll with you.
Right.
Your husband cannot come.
Well, good. And a sister like that, to be honest with you, if she want to support the school, she got to support the school pretty much just like a heathen would.
Damn,
even though she would give, you know, she can come to the functions and everything herself.
Right.
You know, but other than that, you know, she should support from afar.
Yeah,
because
I was gonna say it's gonna be hard for them to not be able to, you know, share this with their kid.
right.
And, yeah.
But see, here's the thing though, that father is not gonna like it.
Oh yeah, he's gonna hate
gonna
the shit out of you.
And he's gonna snatch those kids up, and then she'll know that those are his kids.
Yep.
You know, she'll know what side she on
Right.
play on them, but at the same time, she'll still kind of be in a limbo state because I'm real, you know, watchful over them type of sisters because they come in to, you know, the truth. They'll come up to try and destroy it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to persuade every sister in the school to leave their man and go swirl.
Yeah.
Like she
did. Go swirl. Yeah,
you know
about
that everything. That's why you gotta handle them, you know, as an unclean thing. You know, I don't know. They got no kid with no devil that's down in the you know what I'm saying? In the Israelite group.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
She going there to function.
And I guess except for that one sister from I.S.U.P.K, like she knew that was him, right? But she wasn't trying to hook up with me. Bill Morgan?
No. Thing about it was, I used to think that
I thought that they were married.
Yeah, but that wasn't. He was already. You know, they believe in one wife. She was some young girl that they had took in. You know what I'm saying? They had took her in, but of course, when the wife is gone, he want to try to sleep with the girl, and she ain't want to mess with him. You know, because I mean that's one thing that they do. That they also do. They will take in that the man that's in a hard time. He's a bum, right? And you know, and he's all types of bums, this and that. But they'll take in that young, attractive woman,
right?
They'll take her in, you know. There's no she bums. She can be the whatever, you know what I'm saying? There's no she bums with them. You know, every bum is a black man.
Yeah, they still got something to offer. But that young black man, the young Hispanic man, they're not of value.
Right, exactly. Yeah, if they ain't got a job that they've been on for, 5, 10 years, then they're no good. If they the type that goes from job to job, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of those brothers, doing, they keep working for temp service, and temp service is going to clip you because they don't want you to get benefits. So you go from temp service, you're a bum.
Right.
Where they see it.
So send all your bums over here. Well, we'll take them bums, man.
Right.
We'll build those men up into something glorious.
Yeah,
We'll build
right.
the sisters up into something amazing too.
Right.
But yeah.
And we'll send them right back to your city as an officer of
Damn right.
to burn your ass out.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
You straight up. Yeah, they sit there, they sit there calling gold dirt.
Yeah. And that's another example of a leadership failing. That's another example of that bitterness and self-hatred.
Right.
Just because somebody wanted to be the man at one point, that wasn't getting they weren't getting all the attention. They thought that they had a better way of doing things, and they couldn't work it out. So, people break off, they start their own thing, and look at the results of these. And unfortunately, this isn't an isolated incident with things going awry when you're joining yourself to another body.
Right.
That's why I advocate very heavily for the U.P.K and Commanding General. I see the difference over here from what we've been given our entire life. Well, Isaiah 1:3 Bible says. And I'm looking at Romans. Actually, brother, if you could get Romans 14 and 13. 14 and 13, Isaiah 1:3.
Isaiah 1:3.
Okay. Everybody wants to talk unity. Everybody wants to scream unity in the face, but what are they willing to do for it? That's the big question. It's it's a lot more than words. You got to put in some work for this. It ain't gonna come easy. You're gonna be fighting with your family. You're gonna lose your friends. And they never really love you like that anyway. It's like if you come into the truth, you're not turning your back on them. You still love your mother. You still love your father. You still got love for your friends, but you just love the Most High more. You want to do what He says now. You want to stop getting high. So now you're the bad guy. It's like I'm about to slip up. You're the bad guy because you don't want to get high no more. You're the bad guy because you don't want to hang around the block anymore. You're the bad guy because you don't want to go chasing tail anymore. It's them not loving you that's gonna push the separation. It's not because you're not gonna be doing anything against them except maybe tell them, listen, put that cigarette out, put that joint down. Don't go over to that person's house. They're bad news. You shouldn't be around them. Mama, stop sleeping around. Correcting your daughters, correcting your son, correcting your wife. The conflicts that come with coming into the truth and changing your life around, they can be pretty rough to deal with. But again, we got counselors for this. We got seasoned men who have gone through it all and came back 10 times greater. It's something that a lot of people are afraid to do, let go of the past. Let go of the people that you grew up with. We all get it. We've all been there. I done lost plenty of them. But what we gain here is something so special. And it needs to be protected. And our people just left and right, like we don't, they don't know where they're supposed to go. You got so many divisions and so many shepherds, trying to lead the way that everybody's running around, looking crazy because we don't know who's got the truth. Now we will say proudly and openly, the I.S.U.P.K Commanding General YAHANNA, we got the truth. We are home of the truth. This is something that you can trust. It's in the word. But you got a lot of other people that say, well, no one organization can have all the truth. Some of it's going to be over here, some of it's going to be over there. You got to study into everything and then, combine everything that you learn. Not everybody's going to understand the same thing or learn the same lessons from the same people.
Right.
you will get that heat. You will get that sincerity, the care that this needs to be taken with in order to come out of that darkness, and in order to heal those wounds. And like, this is the one place, this little sanctuary, this little hardcore group of men and women, where brothers and sisters who grown up in violent lifestyles can actually be safe for us. You ain't got to worry about nobody trying to rob you. You ain't got to worry about nobody stabbing you in the back.
Right.
You ain't got to worry about if you was a crip and if there was a blood and now y'all about to go, go fight off in the alley. You don't got to worry if dude's a vato and you a brother. This is the one place where all these different personalities that came from horrible backgrounds can finally legitimately have some rest. You can kick your feet up. Like at the fire weekend in Chicago in July. You ain't gotta, we're gonna have brothers on guard. We're gonna have brothers on Shamar to keep everybody safe, to keep anybody who ain't supposed to be at this event out of this event. And to protect everybody that's supposed to be at that event safe. Yourselves, your wives, your children, your family. Your families are safe here. We take that serious. We know, or how's that one verse go? Because we know what we worship. A lot of these other organizations, well, all of them actually, they don't know what they worship. That Christian church don't know what they worship. That Catholic church does not know what it's worshiping. Muslims do not know what they worship. Now, I will say for the Arabs, they probably a little more hip to it. But if you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you got a turban on your head, man. You don't know what's going on. Or if you're wearing a kufi, if you're wearing, I don't know what other style of headdresses they got, but you don't know what's going on. But if Saga, I want, if you could, Isaiah 1:3. About yourself.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
Now, those are two animals that are very base animals. They are very simplistic animals. They are not hard to figure out. They're not gonna win a Nobel Prize for doing anything an ox or an ass does. They're just gonna sit there, eat grass, move some stuff around, and then taste great on the barbecue. It's two of the very dumbest creatures. This is no insult to them. They're just very base animals. But
Israel does not know.
Well, we don't know. Again, everything that we've gone through, the history that we have, everything that we're experiencing today, we still don't seem to know what direction we're supposed to go in. That ox does. That ass does. That ox goes straight to the barbecue pit. That ass drags it straight to the barbecue pit. They know where they're supposed to go. We don't. When their owner calls them, they can even recognize them. They can recognize their voice. I don't know if they can go by scent or anything like that, but they can hear them. And they're familiar with the surroundings too. And they're protected by that owner. Now, we've got an owner that would look out for us if we just got our ass back home. But we want to check out everything else first. It's like, you want to, who was it? I think it's like, I can't remember who had said it recently like this, but it's like you want to get as high as you possibly can first before you decide to stop getting high. Like you want to chase that dragon one more time to see if you'll hit that peak and you'll maybe get some grand revelation before you decide to, all right, maybe now we'll sober up and we'll start acting right and we'll clean up our act a little bit. All right, now I'll come home. Now I'll start listening. That could be too late, man. ODs can happen really quick. They happen every day. Or hanging out with that one friend just that one more time. You can walk into a bad situation, man. It's for the brothers and the sisters too. And especially if they hearing that you trying to leave some people act very shallow about it and vindictive. You're not safe with those people anymore. You that time, like you really need to just push it all the way. If these people ain't gonna rightly support whatever it is, they might not agree with you. But if they ain't at least gonna be supportive of it, you don't need them in your life. You ain't gotta bounce this off the head to see how them feel, see how it makes you feel. You don't need one more trip around the block. If you haven't noticed, it's getting pretty heavy out there. Now, you better mind, you better make your election sure and get your ass back home before it's too late, before they lock the doors on you. Because when them bombs start dropping and that sky cracks, it's gonna be too late. You're not gonna be able to say, okay, now I get it. Now I believe it.
Awesome. Saying like you call that today, the block is hot.
Hey, there you go. Downtown. It is scorching out there. So you got Proud or Romans?
Yes, sir.
If you could.
Let us know never corner order anymore.
Now that's not talking about don't correct a brother or sister when they wrong. Don't you know, I don't want to be too redundant with it, but it's not saying don't again make the positive correction where if somebody's wrong, if somebody does need to be corrected, or but it'll be easier to just read the rest of it. Continue, please.
Anymore, but does this whether that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way.
Now that's kind of getting more to the key. It's a preventative measure so that you're not out there again trying to check everybody and their mama because you think the Sabbath day was supposed to be, Thursday sundown to Friday sundown, or you're so against homosexuality you're chopping people's heads off. Which I mean, homosexuality is disgusting. It's an abomination. It is a sin against the Most High, and He will put you to death for it. You could get AIDS. You could be like them trainees in I.U.P.K and get your face blown off. Those are sinning against the Most High. You could be going to the gas station, one more blunt. You're just gonna roll up that one more time. But right when you decide to go to the gas station, you get shot. Things like that happen. Right. This ain't to be played with. And it's like that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. That's what this is for. That's what the truth is for. That's what counsel is for. That's what all the the parables and the precepts are for. So that you can weigh down that river of the Bible. And you'll be able to lead the people properly. And you're not going to be a stumbling block to them. You're not going to be doing something stupid, like, all right, Thanksgiving dinner, for example. If I'm going to eat it, that's just a turkey and some stuffing. And normally pretty good. My mom was always a good cook. But if my brother, for example, was trying to come into the truth and he sees me pop up there for Thanksgiving, acting like it's nothing, that might be a stumbling block for him because he don't understand that, yes, it is just a turkey, but it happens to be a turkey on this Thursday. So, like, we just ain't gonna mess with it, but yeah.
There's an article right here. It says tens of thousands of Americans are calling poison control after consuming too much weed, reports find.
After consuming too much weed?
Right, but I think it's something wrong with
that
weed.
sniffable weed?
No, I think this is smoking.
And let that be a damn lesson to you too. People are against being able to sniff weed because then it kind of makes it being a drug a little bit more real, but you're still smoking. You're still using the drug. The way you use it doesn't matter if you're still using it to get high. Also, to kind of finish that off in Mark 7 and 22, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All the characteristics that we're experiencing in our neighborhoods. That's going to keep people on drugs. That's going to keep Israel from knowing who their master is. If you're high enough, you're not going to care. And if you're foolish enough, I mean, you'll just accept anything that anybody tells you. If I could get 1 Peter 5, 1 Peter 5, 1 through 3. These are dangerous times that we're living in, and the brothers, you better gird up your loins. You better get active. You better get with the program. Sisters, you better listen to those men. Children, you better listen to them sisters. So everything goes in rank and order. And those brothers, you better listen to Yahushua. Yahushua, because he listens to the Most High. He's giving. Anytime that Yahushua was speaking in the Bible, if you're reading in the red or not, it doesn't matter. You can be colorblind, maybe it wouldn't know. But he's there speaking verbatim from the Most High. Like he is that.
1 Peter 5 what?
1 Peter, and we'll start out.
1 Peter.
We'll close out with this.
1. The elders which are among you, who am also an elder.
Now this isn't just talking about like age. Yeah, you ain't got to be 90 years old to be an elder. The one to my right is then they're half my age and 10 times my rank. He's putting the work to be called sir. On the spirit of brotherhood, we express that, we show that, and we follow the orders that these men give us, because they've been through that fire too. So we keep this tight. Yeah.
And a witness of the sufferings of Christ.
And a witness of the sufferings of Christ. He was on the scene when it was going down. We're seeing it again. We're seeing it happen. We're seeing our people being persecuted for things that they did not do, for a life that they want to abandon and come back home. We see those brothers that are suffering as Christ suffered. Sorry, but
and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed.
It's going to be a brighter day. It's not always going to be like this. Okay.
Verse 2. Feed the flocks of God which is among you.
Which is among you. So you got some brothers out there that got plans to go Peter Pan somewhere off in the woods. Play Robin Hood or something like that. Like they're supposed to be gathering all their resources. They're gonna get some property. They're gonna get some land. They're gonna build their little street forts and whatnot. And they're gonna preserve the remnant of Israel when everything pops up. Yeah.
Here's the funny thing about it, because they don't even have an army.
Nothing.
That's one of the things.
It's like you're gonna like this stuff.
When a nation separates itself from other nations or oppressive nations or whatever, one of the first things they gotta do is start an army.
Right.
You gotta have something to defend it, right? They run around in dashikis and soft linen clothing.
Right.
Right. And just talking about being vegan and vegetarian and all that. Well, the surrounding devils can invade that place. What they gonna do?
Now, and this is their take on it too. So they're also this group in particular that I'm gonna talk about. I don't even think they got a name for themselves or something like that. They just kind of have a united identity in a sense, and they all kind of believe in the same thing. I have no idea. They're weird. But they're the Old Testament. They're primarily Old Testament, I should say. They do mess with some of the New Testament, but it's like the original book of Matthew that was written in Hebrew or something like that. I remember Captain Zaria talking about that. But they're very picky on certain things in Revelations. Otherwise, like everything else is trash. So Yah-O is, going to be there saying, yeah, on Yahoo.
Yeah, and they believe that the wilderness is
now, and I've heard so many different things about where they believe the wilderness is going to be. Don't know, but while you bums are making your plan and abandon the people that are living in your neighborhood, we're going to stay right here on the block.
Right.
with our brothers and sisters,
Right.
putting that work in. Because we are building that army now to defend our people. And we got an ordinance that supersedes NASA's attempts in the United States military and China military. While you're out there, sharpening your little sticks and, trying to make a little blowgun or something like that, practicing capoeira or something, it's when it goes down and you're going to try to protect that remnant, like what do you think is going to happen at the end of the day?
Right. Wait till nighttime hits. They ain't got no street lights out in that jungle.
Right.
When they hear them sounds.
You're going to be screaming for George Zimmerman then.
Yeah, all the snakes and all that. Remember that big group that went over to Africa? I don't know when it was, but they went over to Africa and they were so happy to be in Africa, they took their passports and threw them out in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
Nighttime hit, they were all trying to swim and get their passports.
Yep. It's not a healthy lifestyle if you're working against the power that took you from Egypt.
Right.
The power that raised you up to be, the greatest nation, that put you over nations.
There's a thing too. If I could, does anybody remember in the scripture what happened to the Ephraimite men? There was a lot of them, it was a whole lot of them, and they tried to leave Egypt before the time, instead of gathering up under Moses or whatever, they tried to leave on their own. And they was needing resources, so they ran up on the Philistines and then tried to take out the Philistines and everything and take their stuff. And the battle,
I know exactly.
and they ended up killing so many of Ephraimites. The Ephraim was still alive, and he had to mourn for his children and everything, because it was only like 10 or so of them left after that. The battle was so bad. It was somewhere like there was a few thousand of them at first. And it was reduced all the way down.
I was say, it's like what I learned from that, like it wasn't their time because they never got the order. They did it upon themselves.
Right. Yeah. And they tried to take something unrighteously because
right.
The Lord didn't give them, tell them to go in and invade the land of the Philistines. Right. That's one of the reasons also too, the Most High didn't want to take us to go through the Philistine land because we was afraid. And so he had to reroute and take us away to the Red Sea, which went into his perfect plan. He wanted to drown them in Egypt. Right.
And there's a reason for everything. There's a reason for rank and order. There's a reason for order and discipline. There's a reason why we are supposed to stick so tight to this code of conduct, this code of ethics, that if you go against the Most High, it will get you killed. Right. This is not the time to be playing around. I mean, yesterday wasn't the time to be playing around either. Tomorrow ain't gonna be no different. You wanna put your work in now. You wanna make your allegiance now. Make it known to the world. Change your Facebook name, all that. Tell your mama my name ain't Bobo no more. It's something awesome. And they're gonna look at you crazy for a while, but it's okay because you got brothers and sisters in here that ain't gonna look at you crazy unless you're doing something crazy. We'll talk about it, but we'll laugh about it too. It's not all uptight that I've seen like a lot of groups act like, and it's not as prissy as I've seen a lot of groups act like. This is not, we're still the same. Where's the five? Like Nehemiah and them brothers, and Ezekiel and Jeremiah and the 12 disciples. We're still the same as them. They laugh, they drink it up, they party, they kick it too. I'm sure they told each other some jokes and maybe pull a prank on. Yeah, I don't know, but it's the mentality, the spirit doesn't change with the people. The times and understanding sure did, but the spirit didn't change. We still them same brothers. They were loyal, they were strong, they were militant, they were men, they were masculine. Nowadays, I mean, some of them you can't even tell the difference from the way they walk, the way they bend their wrists, the way that they talk, the way that they dress them. Like you gotta be careful. Depending on where you're going on, it's nasty. It's nasty. Well, it's like we continue with that. I think we just got a few more verses and then we go well.
Taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly.
Oh, yeah. Taking the oversight thereof. Keeping that watch out, man.
Right.
And not by constraint, not holding your people down on the lock and key. We was at the Passover. We have brothers on posts holding Shema. And they weren't forced to, they were given the order to, but we take them orders with pride, with dignity, especially something like Shema too. You're being held responsible for the protection of your people when you take any of these offices. So we take that very serious. So not by constraint. We didn't have the women and the children all in one tent, and that orange construction fencing, keeping them in, and they can only leave one at a time and go grab some lamb and some unleavened bread. While the men are barking orders down other brothers, heads to pick up, that little bit of trash in the corner that nobody ever saw that he probably put there. But, we willingly do this. We had a damn good time. The mansion party had a damn good time. The Feast of Unleavened Bread, damn good time. Very, loose atmosphere. Wasn't all tight and stuffy. But you didn't feel bad. You didn't feel like some Quakers could come and raid your event and kick your ass. It's, we're still men at the end of the day, just like these brothers were. But we preach some prophets on top of that, first and foremost, just like these brothers were. So we keep this word the same way that they did, same spirit, same energy, same effort. And we do it willingly. It ain't got to be all like that. I don't know what some of them other organizations do. Can't speak for them, but I can tell you will have a damn good time at the fire weekend. You should go, everybody. But we should see all that. So I can continue.
Not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind.
Yeah, not for monetary gains, not because you think this is gonna get you your captainship. It's it's nothing vain like that. But with a ready mind, like I was ready to grab those chairs to help lay out to set the event up. Ready to go get the ice for the water. Texas was hot. It was not cold in Texas. I don't know what kind of winter they talked about having, but it was not cold. I had to chill there for that. But again, the willingness and a ready mind to do it. It's not that nobody got brainwashed. The Kool-Aid is good though. Continue.
You said what?
Verse
Nobody got brainwashed, but the Kool-Aid is good.
You funny.
Like the Kool-Aid. Yeah.
Neither as being lords over God's heritage.
Again, some people want to claim how much they know. They want to try to prove how much they know about the Bible, about the culture, about the laws, and they're going to try to ram it down your throat. Now, if we find you breaking the laws, we will correct you on breaking the laws, and we will instruct you on how to keep the laws so that you don't break them again. But you got some people that are so adamant about when the Sabbath is supposed to be, when the Passover is supposed to be, how many arguments. I don't know if y'all got any arguments with any knuckleheads about that, but they sit on some weird principles too. But just because we know the law, just because we know the culture, doesn't make us lords of the law, lords of Israel is going to inherit the kingdom,
Right.
not just those brothers wearing all the black with the braids and the boots, and this is for the people. This is for the people. So I can get it.
But being ensamples to the flock.
But keep your eyes on the brothers that's dressed up in all that black and all the studs and leather and braids and buckles and boots and swords and drip from head to toe with again cultural examples of how we dress and how we got now. Again, you saw it at the Passover. But we are supposed to be the examples that lead the people. We're supposed to be those shepherds. to feed the flock, to keep us protected. You can look to these men. The same way that you would have looked at the men in the Bible for answers. You can look to these men. Because a lot of you, like you trying to interpret something that ain't written down in there. You got something completely different going on in your head when you read it. You can trust these brothers. You need a breakdown, come to class. Give a brother a call. It's like, yeah.
Verse 4. And when the chief shepherd shall appear,
Yeah, I will try. Go ahead.
ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away.
You got to endure to the end. This ain't the time of season to tuck tail and run. Again, go hide in the woods, thinking that you're doing something righteous or holy, or this. God told me, Yahweh told me, follow Yahweh Max, and this is where it's supposed to end up because this is what it said to do. Maybe next week we'll make that the topic. Maybe next week I'll jump into that too. Just to further break, show the difference in between. But until then, Israel, we are the I.S.U.P.K. Israelite now, established 1969, 1 West, 125th Street. We are led by Commanding General YAHANNA. We got the Midwest Fire Weekend coming up. You do not want to miss that in Chicago. General's going to be there. We're going to have class. We're going to have camps. We're going to have delicious food. We're going to have amazing brotherhood, amazing sisterhood. I will challenge anybody to a chess game. All right. With that, clap it up. And I guess I'll be selfish and pass the class back over to me for the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We have the I.S.U.P.K started out at 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, there are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to serve themselves or the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get head selected. Pause. I said that a little wrong, didn't I? Selected. If a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a command. You can find in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means 10 in the Hebrew. I.S.U.P.K. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. It's a free will offering. It's not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. We've got a couple different ways that you can pay. If you want to make a donation, you can still go to ISUPK.com. Scroll down to the Donate Now button, and you can pay your tithes and make donations in that fashion. If you have the Zelle app, first name is I.S.U.P.K, last name is Tithes. Email is ISUPK@Tithes. Gmail's like I'm at the double check on that. For the Midwest Fire Weekend, you can still use the PayPal or the Square Cash app, and you can send it to $ Midwest Fire Weekend, all capital, all one word. Again, that's going down in July. Upcoming voting applications. We don't have to take a copy about that. You can still go to ISUPK.com, check in with your local school and see what they have. See what they have on the communication board. Any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That means your boots, your shirt, your pant, your headband, and your scarf. And with that, upon your heart put down, which means rise, turn face the east. So the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. You can find this in Matthew chapter 6, verses 8 through 13. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Lakutka, Tabah, Ratazaka, Haya, I.S.U.P.K, Baratazak, Kawak, Haya, Ashamani, Katanana, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Asalak now, Kabawat now, Kasalak now, Kabawat now, Bola, Tabia now, Banasai one, Ball,
Bar,
Hoshana,
Shana,
Mayan,
Mayan,
Rai,
Rai,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Amalakwa,
Malakwa,
Wahala,
Am,
Wahata Kura,
Bar,
Lawalami,
Maulay.
Aman.
The Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father,
Our Father,
in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
The house,
Yahweh,
thy kingdom come,
thy kingdom come,
thy will be done
thy will be done
in earth
in earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread,
our daily
and
bread.
forgive us of our debts
Forgive us of our
as
debts
we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into
Lead us
temptation,
not into temptation,
but deliver us from
but
evil.
deliver us from evil.
For thine is the
For
kingdom,
thine is the
and
kingdom,
the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it. Pray to bless it. It's like a prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa.
Wayah
Why Shalom.
Wahabayah.
Wahabiyah.
Sapari.
Barak.
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 Rapa'ah.
Ah.
Magan.
Magan.
Hagan.
Magan.
At this time, you can say the name of a loved one once. Everyone repeats that name once. If you're following us on social media, you can type in the name of a loved one, and we'll send the prayers up with you.
I.S.U.P.K, Kentucky.
I.S.U.P.K, Kentucky.
I.S.U.P.K, Minnesota.
I.S.U.P.K, Minnesota.
All of Israel.
All of Israel. Israelite School U.P.K.
Israelite School U.P.K.
Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Jamie.
Jamie.
Annalie.
Annalie.
Whitney.
Whitney.
The McIntosh family.
McIntosh family.
Raphael.
Raphael.
Azaryala.
Azaryala.
Kayala.
Kayala.
Young man B.
Young man B.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
Teresa
Wait.
Teresa Wiggins.
Lynette Davis.
Joe Wiggins.
J.B. Johnson.
J.B. Johnson. Irma Johnson.
House of Rock.
House of Rock.
I.S.U.P.K, Minnesota.
I.S.U.P.K, Minnesota.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
All the sort of Israel.
All the sort of Israel. Bashim Yahushua.
Shem Yahushai.
Throughout our month.
Throughout our month. Pray to bless Israel in the English. Lord, in the name of Yahushua.
Lord, in the name of Yahushua.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
Love.
Love ones.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed be Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and
And
earth,
all things living.
and all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
In the name of
in the
Yahushua.
name of Yahushua.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now,
Right now.
right now.
Send evils and curses.
And evils and curses,
Punishment and destruction.
punishment and
To
destruction
the heathen.
to the heathen
That speak against
that
us.
speak against us,
Thy prophets.
thy prophets,
Teachers.
the teachers,
Princes.
the princes,
Priests.
the priests,
The Israelite brothers.
the Israelite
And
brothers,
the school.
and the school.
Saying evils and curses.
Send evils and curses,
And punishment and destruction.
punishment and destruction
To the heathen.
to the heathen,
And shake loose the treasure.
and shake loose the treasure
Of the rich of
of the
Israel.
rich of Israel
That refuse to give to the school.
that refuse to give to the school.
Once they're rich.
Force their riches
Enter to thy sanctuary.
into thy sanctuary.
Saying evils and curses.
And evils and curses,
Punishment and destruction.
punishment and destruction
To the Edomites.
to the Edomites
And the nation.
and the nations
And their drug dealers.
and their drug dealers,
Court system.
court systems,
Prison system.
prison systems,
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood,
All the governments of our enemies.
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church,
Pope.
the Pope,
Islam.
Islam,
Christianity.
Christianity,
Egyptology.
Egyptology,
Militia.
militia,
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation,
Skinheads.
skinheads,
Positive.
Comitazi,
Gay
the
movement.
gay movement,
The lesbian movement.
lesbian movement,
Spies.
spies,
Workers of witchcraft.
workers of witchcraft,
National Space Program.
NASA space program,
Army.
Army,
Navy.
Navy,
Air Force.
Air Force,
Marines.
Marines,
Wall Street.
Wall Street,
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet
And the airways.
and the airways.
Cable access channel.
Cable access
And the
channel
radio channel.
and the radio channel.
Convict the spirit
Convict the spirit
of any of thy people
of any of thy people
that seek to stop
that
us
seek to stop us
and bring swift
and
destruction
bring swift destruction
to all the heathen
to all the
that
heathen
stand in the way
that stand in the way
try to stop
or
us
try to stop us
broadcasting your
from
word
broadcasting your words
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
That loose all the
That
plagues.
loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro
Cause them to go to and
through
fro
the earth
through the earth
and consume
and
them.
consume them.
That the plague shake
That the plague shake
the house of the thief
the house of the thief
and the murder.
and the murder.
The Yahweh
Yahweh shot
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel
Down with the flying saucer.
down with the flying
Punish
saucers.
all the heathen
Punish all the
that
heathen
come up against
that
us.
come up against
As we
us
speak thy
as we
word.
speak thy words.
Cause it to be known
Cause it to be known
by all.
by all.
That is the angels that have done
It's
it.
the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread
Cause it to be spread
through the media
through the media
throughout the whole
throughout the
world.
whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy
Cause them
coming.
to shake at that coming.
In the name of Yahweh
In the
Shai.
name of Yahweh shot.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
Sar. Men of Israel. Amad Shabbat. Amad Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakathon.
Yazmatah. Courteous salute to the sisters. Men of Israel. Amad Shabbat. Amad Barak.
Yahweh Shem Barakathon Shem Yahweh Shah.
Yazmatah. Class dismissed.